All right, guys, welcome to my home garage. So we have a 2009 Lexus GS 350 all-wheel drive, and that's the important factor in this. I wasn't even going to do a video on this. It was just swapping shocks, disassembling the strut. Not a big deal. I thought it was pretty cut and dry until I did the other side yesterday. So let's just go take a look at the other side. So here's the setup. It's like a Honda setup with a fork, right? Well, the problem with the fork is after you remove this bolt, it is seized inside the bushing for the control arm. For this whole control arm, there's a bushing inside there. This fork's supposed to slide in and out and then tighten. Well, it's completely seized inside, so we had to go alternate route. So what I did is I took out the upper arm, right, which was stripped. So then I had to re-tap and re-thread everything. Obviously loosen the bolts up at the top, the 3 bolts, and then take out that nut right there. See that bolt right there? That holds this in place. And once I removed that, then with a hammer, just a couple of taps here, this got loose and I was able to pull this assembly out. Compress the spring, swap everything over, new top mount, new shock, just reusing the old spring. So let's get to the other side and I'll show you the problem that I had, and we're going to do it live. So just quick. All right, so give me a second, let me set up. All right, step 1, we're going to loosen these up. Don't be afraid to just completely remove them. You're going to replace the bolts, so don't be too concerned. Now don't lose this. There's a metal plate that goes here. You can just leave it here. Okay, so that's step 1. All right, guys. Step 2, we're gonna remove this bolt right here that secures the shock. Okay. It is a 19, so you're gonna need some leverage on there. So 2 wrenches should do it. And you're gonna push forward. Oh, my head almost went into the car. And there. Once it's loose, you'll see how easy it comes out. And here's what I want you to pay attention. Why is it going out so easy? We're gonna discuss that later in the video, okay? But take a look at that bolt. The other one was all rusted. This one is very clean. Obviously, I can't show you that because it's already apart. Okay, so next step, we're gonna remove this bracket here. It's a 10 millimeter. The reason you're removing that is because you're replacing the shock and it's in the way, okay? So after you're done that, the next thing you're gonna get rid of is, well, give me a second, let me just see. All right, so next step is we're gonna remove this retaining clip. It's easy. You can even do it with your hands, okay? And then I believe that is a 17 millimeter. First thing I advise you to do before you start loosening this up, like we don't know if this arm was changed, just clean this as much as you can, because the debris can actually affect removing it. So grab your swivel socket, impact, boom. The other side did not come off that easy. This is why you do one side first, and now you can just give her a couple of hammers. Boom. That's it. And now you'll see right here. That's what we want to separate. Just a couple of whacks down here. Loosen off the rest. And you'll see that this will want to come out. Take a look from this side. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but yeah, pretty much you should be at a point now where you can almost remove this. So it's just like pretty much, there's not that much holding this in place anymore. So let's say you put this down here. And that's it. Your shock is out. How long did that take? Well, you just watched it in real time. So you tell me. So now, put this forward. Get a bungee cord. The reason you get a bungee cord is you don't want the shaft to pop out. So all I do is just wrap this around here. This is just temporary, obviously. And just hook it onto something. Hook it onto something over here. Done. There. Now it's good. It's not going to move anywhere. And we are free to start working on our shock, which is the dangerous part, which is a part a lot of people might not be comfortable doing, me included, considering the other side almost popped off on me. So we're going to be very careful and have everything prepared. Okay. Let me just put it into this mode. Okay. This off. Okay, there we go. All right. So just keep this in mind. Where the shock lines up here is also where this lines up, okay? So keep that in mind when you get your new stuff. So all our new stuff is right here. Here's all our new stuff. And quick tip before we start this. You want to get this inside of here, right? So the easiest way is literally just remove this and install this inside here, or you'll never get it in. Okay, now you can put this back on. Keep in mind, look, see this little tab, right? See this tab? Okay, well, it lines up here with this side. That's where you want the spring to land, and that's why that tab is there. There you go, see right there? So your spring should land there, the beginning of this spring, right here. Actually, they didn't do it like this here, but, okay. So let's just do what they did, but we don't know if anyone's ever been in here, so this should be one over then. Okay, I'm just making it same as the other one. Again, you want this all the way in here. Same thing. So let's just match it. So this one goes here. So this goes here. Okay, there. So everything's ready to go. We are ready to rock. Everything's inside of there. Okay, we're ready to go. Okay. We got our new shock ready. We're going to have literally everything ready. Everything's going to be ready, because this is going to be scary. I mean, the bolt's ready, everything ready. We want our bolt ready here. All right, so. All right, so let's get our clamps. And what we're going to do is one's going to go high and one is going to go low. And we want to go as high as we possibly can with this. So if that means moving this over here, because we need the most amount of compression humanly possible with this. It takes a lot of compression. Okay. Give me a second, I'll set everything up. Okay guys, here's my setup to hopefully not kill myself. Okay? Opposite sides. Obviously there's different tools you can use. I recommend using a better tool. This is not a good tool. This is very ghetto and old and dangerous. So don't use tools like this. Don't do like me. Just be safe. Buy a better tool. Okay? So here's our tool. So I'm going to begin tightening it slowly until we get some tension on it, and then we'll actually probably start using the gun to get it on better. We're just going to make sure that it's tightening nice and straight. Right now it's the safe time to do it because we still have the shock holding it. So right now is where you can kind of like go to town a little bit. So before I start using the gun, I like to make sure that, so you just want to make sure it's level. So the way we do that is, as we're tightening it, we're waiting for the tension to be released from this. And we're just making sure that the spring is staying pretty straight. Don't recommend this, remember that. Do not recommend this. Oh shoot. Spring is compressing on here. Okay. Remember, right now we're still safe. Okay. Okay. See, our shock is loose. Looks like it anyways. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit more. Okay, our spring is completely compressed. Okay, now is the dangerous time. We're gonna remove that nut and we're gonna have everything ready to rock. Do not recommend this. Do not do this at home. Be very, 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 very careful. Sorry guys, I loosened the nut, shock's out. We're reusing this. So clean it up quickly. Really quickly clean it up. Put it back on here. You gotta remove this now. Ooh, I think it's stuck on there. This thing, get your new one on there quickly. So you want it lined up right here with, see where the dot is, and you see how it's oval. You want it lined up on that mark. Okay, so that's going to be lined up there. The bottom is self-explanatory. Get your thing lined up. Make sure you're all the way in the hole. Okay. Might take a little finagling to get in there, but watch your face. Okay. Get your nut ready. See your nut? Put it on. That's your safeguard. Get your nut on there. Make sure everything's lined up. Make sure your shock is lined up properly. Make sure everything is good, okay? Because when you release this, all the tension's gonna go back on it, so you gotta make sure that you are in the correct place. So right now we are. So we're gonna gun that nut on. Do not recommend the way I'm doing it. Right now we're allegedly safe because we got our nut on. So make sure your spring is good. Well, see how it's walking? You wanna make sure it stays where it's supposed to be. There. Now we're allegedly safe. Okay, so now we can start loosening our system slowly, a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. Okay. Wait. Okay. A little bit at a time. Make sure your marks stay where they're supposed to be. Make sure that spring that tension stays straight. Remember, do not do this at home. Have a professional do it, or get a better tool. It's essentially a video on what not to do. Okay, we are safe. Okay, now we're safe. Woo! Almost died yesterday, guys. Not died, but I could have got really hurt. So I don't want that to happen to anybody because of watching my dumb video. It's just a video. It's educational information. This is not, this could be a how-to for someone who has knowledge and just needs that little bit extra. But realistically, this is something you should have a professional do. There we go. All right. So take a look. It's nice. Look. See our mark right there, lined up perfectly with our flat surface. This is going to fit in there very good. I'll take these off right now. We don't need these anymore. Believe it or not, this is the easy part. This is the part that gave me trouble yesterday when I did the other side. But this is not even the reason I'm doing the video. Because I would technically never tell someone to do what I just did. Okay, so right now the shock is ready to go back in. So let's get in position. Okay, so we can now take our bungee cord that was holding this entire thing in place. We don't need it anymore. Okay. And now just remember the way it went in. Remember, you need to have this section on this side, and that's for your bolt. So you're gonna go in. Okay. Then you're gonna see there's actually a little mark on the shock, and it lines up with your fork. So if your fork wants to cooperate and go down, see how I just pushed it down? But here is where the problem lies, and here's where I'm going to stop and show you why. Why this? Yeah, you're technically done. Have a look inside. Hold on. Let me stop. It gave me trouble yesterday, guys. Take a look inside there, okay? Yeah, I was almost done, right? I'm putting it in. I'm happy. Take a look inside there. Look at the rust. I don't know if you guys can see it because of the light, but take a look in there. Oh, it's too bright. Okay, you see the rust in there? Clean that hole out or you are in trouble. Give me a second, I'll show you what I mean. There's debris inside there preventing the shock from lining up straight, preventing my bolt from screwing in and stripping the threads on the new shock. Clean that hole out. I'll show you what it looks like after I clean it. Okay, there's a better shot. Take a look in there. That one's not too bad. The other side had bits of debris. So right now I'm going to clean that up. Okay, so get your nuts on at the top. Make sure your plate's there. Now we can peel this back a bit like this, and we're going to clean in there. Take a look. Do you see the debris? Hold on, it's hard to get a good shot. See the debris in there? You got to clean all that out. There's literally debris in there, and it's not going to make it smooth. So we're going to clean that up right now. Okay, the hole is clean. Well, it's hard to tell, but trust me, it's clean now. It's lubricated. And now same thing. We're going to work on getting it back in safely. Let's get that light in there. Okay. Remember, just push down on this and slide it over. Okay. So you think put the bolt in now, right? Everything's fine, just put the bolt in now. Do not put the bolt in now. Your next step should be put your control arm on. Grab your nut. This side's not giving me any trouble like the other side. But actually, first things first. Bungee cord this together. See? Like that. Just bungee cord it together just for now. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to bring something over here to help us. Bring your jack over, and I'll show you why. You're going to put it right underneath that control arm, right where the fork is, and you're going to pry it up, and you're going to want that fork to pop in there. See that fork? Doesn't want to go. See how it's going in crooked? Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that fork. We got to get that straight. If we don't straighten up this fork and get it to go in straight, none of this is going to work. So let's take this out. Right now, we're not even close to being straight. So we want to kind of get this over there. So right now, the shock is not straight. It needs to rotate this way, or it's not going to work. So how are we going to get that shock to rotate? Because right now, the shock is compressed. Ooh, that's going to be a... Give me a second, guys. So here is the most important part of this whole thing. That this notch on the shock lines up with that fork notch. If not, make some marks, take the shock out, and rotate the top hat until this fits in like so. Or you'll never get that bolt in. And also, when you want to put the bolt in, you got to jack it up. And now, your bolt will go in. I promise you. If you don't do this, your bolt will never go in straight, and you will have problems forever. So, see that? Look how easy it goes in. Believe me, if your shock is not compressed all the way in like this, you'll never get this screw in and you'll strip it. So right now, I just gotta tighten up this bolt, tighten up my top bolts, and you're done. And that's it. And that's how you do this without removing this fork, which would make it so much easier, but it's completely seized inside that bushing, at least on the other side. I won't even attempt this side. We also got to put this back on, and that's just a quick video on how to do shocks on an all-wheel drive car. This car's all-wheel drive. If it wasn't, this would be way easier. All right, guys, have a good one. Quick video, kind of dangerous, but if you don't do this, you're screwed.